A country located in the Caribbean that was the first arena of violence, pillage, slavery of colonizers. Since then, since the Española, the conquistadors saw how much wealth this continental land had. Behind this curtain of islands, the interest of America, which was the first in the world to abolish slavery and to become independent, has not allowed to exercise the independence. Immediately after, attacks continued. First, France, during the entire 19th century, that refused to lose its colony, that produced 75% of the sugar in the world, and then the United States that replaced it, invaded, and established a dictatorship. Besides economic harassment of the World Bank, IMF, and World Bank, there have been 7 military interventions in the last 25 years. Haiti, the pearl that the United States refuses to let go. We will look at the last facts and actors involved. After intense protests in the midst of a social economic crisis, at this time there's a small calm, even if there are still people going out to the streets. Our news reports inform that commercial work activities have been re-established, but not schools that continue closed. The government, with fractures among its officers, with an increasing crisis, has urged a dialogue that allows designing the route to peace. Not everybody wants that dialogue.
No dejaré al país
I will
en
not
manos de
leave the
pandillas
country
y
in the
traficantes de
hands of
drogas.
gangs and drug traffickers.
Estamos escuchando a la
We are
gente
listening
y
to
el
the
gobierno ha
people, and the
implementado un
government has
paquete de
implemented a
medidas.
package of
Le
measures.
pedí al primer
I
ministro que
asked First
venga, las
Minister to
explique
come
y las
and
aplique
explain
rápido
and
para
apply
aliviar la
them
miseria.
immediately to alleviate misery. The United States have come to commit to violent acts and crimes to protect power because they see that the people want to go beyond. They no longer want to change only the government but the system. Figures are clear. The president just had to do one thing, show his will to teach, show where the money is, and he hasn't done it, and this makes things worse. The executive and legislative powers have led the country to a true, complete collapse, which is political, economic direction completely dominated by some families of the oligarchy and imperialism. Before going to more details, let's go to the profile to Haiti. Geopolitically, one of the most important nations of the Caribbean. After Cuba, it is called La Española, that it shares with the Dominican Republic and is the second largest in the region. It is placed in the heart of the Caribbean region with an excellent location versus the Panama Canal and the route from Venezuela to the United States. Haiti, officially Republic of Haiti, located in the central part of the Antilles. Its capital, Port-au-Prince, has the Atlantic Ocean to the west, the Caribbean Ocean to the south, and the east, the winds that separate them from Cuba. With 27,750 square kilometers, it is the third largest country of the Antilles after the Dominican Republic and Cuba. It has the islands of Gonave, Tortuga, Baches, and others. It claims the United States inhabited the island of La Bassa. It works as a semi-presidentialist republic, and its constitution was approved in 1987, suspended during the coups of 1991 and 2004 that overthrew elected President Jovenel Moise. After the United Nations its economy is one of the most unstable in the continent. It depends on foreign aid. It is under The
de su
IMF
población
and the
vive
World
bajo el umbral
Bank,
de pobreza.
80% of the
Tormentas
population
tropicales,
live under
huracanes y terremotos
poverty
como el de 2010 han devastado su
levels.
precaria infraestructura
Hurricanes
y han
have
empeorado el estado de
devastated
salud
its
de su economía,
infrastructure
aun
and
cuando haya
economy,
recibido la
even if it
solidaridad de
has
países como
received
Venezuela.
solidarity of
Independiente de
countries like
Francia desde el
Venezuela.
1 de enero de
Independent from
1804, Haití es
France
pionero
since
en los
January 1st,
procesos de liberación de
1804,
América tras
Haiti is a
cristalizar un
pioneer in
movimiento
the liberation
revolucionario en
processes of
1791 que devino
America
en lucha armada contra la
that
potencia
started in
colonizadora de fines del siglo XVII.
1791
Sentó precedente además
in the
porque es el
17th
primer caso
century.
de la historia
It was the
universal
first
en el
case
que la
of
población sometida a la esclavitud se
universal
rebeló y
history
logró
that
después de 12
slaves
años su
rebelled,
emancipación
and
con
after
Toussaint
12
Louverture
years
al mando.
its
Su base étnica
emancipation
poblacional está
took
integrada por
place.
habitantes del África
It has
subsahariana, de modo que es
inhabitants
país
from
latinoamericano por
sub-Saharan
su ubicación
Africa.
geográfica
So
y
it's
sus
a
lenguas
Latin
oficiales que
American
son
country
romances,
because of
el
its
creol
location,
haitiano y el
but their
francés,
language
y
is
afrocaribeño
Haitian,
por el
Creole,
origen
and
de su
French,
composición
and
demográfica.
Afro-Caribbean groups.
Bueno, vamos a revisar ahora
We will now go
algunos medios
review
digitales
some
que
of the
aportan
web pages
información
that
valiosa en
contribute
este
with
minuto.
valuable
Me voy
information.
a la agencia informativa
I will now go
latinoamericana
to
Prensa Latina,
Prensa
que
Latina,
tiene la
Latin
siguiente
American
nota:
webpage,
crisis
with
en
the
Haití,
following
culpa de
note.
muchos y beneficios
Crisis
de
in
pocos.
Haiti,
Allí vemos la
much to
fotografía.
blame and
Es de la autoridad
few to
de Anneli
benefit.
Ruiz García, corresponsal de
This
Prensa
is
Latina
written by
en
Anneli
esta
Ruiz
isla
Garcia,
caribeña.
correspondent of Prensa
Entrevistado en el programa
Latina.
radial Mágica
Interviewed
Nueva,
in
el
radio
senador
program
Willop
Mágica
Joseph,
Nueva,
quien abiertamente
Senator
apoya al
Willop
gobierno
Joseph,
de
who
Moise,
openly
denunció que el presidente no es
defends
el único responsable
Moise, says
del
that
deterioro
he
de
is
la
not the
situación
only
económica.
responsible of the
Sin que hasta el momento se
deterioration of the
refutan sus
economic
declaraciones,
situation.
Joseph dijo que algunos
Joseph
de los
said
líderes de la
that some
oposición
of the leaders of
están
the
también a cargo
opposition
de
are
organismos
also in
jugosos,
charge
entre
of
comillas. Por
very
ejemplo,
large
la
pieces
Oficina
in the
Nacional del
pie.
Seguro de
For
Vejez,
example,
principal fondo
the
de pensiones,
elder
está controlada
pension
por
insurance is
Jovenel
controlled by
Moise
Jubila
y Solcé
Tofu
Sancy,
and
ambos líderes del partido Haiti en
Sorce
Acción,
Sassi,
y el Fondo de
and
Resistencia,
the
o mejor
fund
dicho, de asistencia social
for
está en manos de la
social
senadora
assistance is in the
Gracia
hands
Delva,
of
de la misma
Gracia Delva,
plataforma. El
also
Fondo de Asistencia
congresswoman in
Económica
the
y
same
Social, con
group.
un presupuesto de
The
varias
Economic
decenas de millones
Social
de dólares,
Fund, with
es
several
controlado por el
tens of
presidente de
million
la Cámara
dollars, is
Alta,
controlled by the High Chamber,
y el senador
Kantaf, and
Luis,
Senator
el presidente de la
Louis,
Cámara de Diputados,
the president
Gary
of
Boudot, y el
the
senador
Chamber,
Ronnie Celestin tienen
the
la
House
oficina
of
de
Chambers,
monetización de los
in
programas de ayuda
charge
al
of
desarrollo que
the
gestiona
programs
más
of
de
aid,
$1.000 millones al año.
more
Bueno,
than
importante esa
$1
lista
billion
que
per
continúa.
year.
La hace la corresponsal según las declaraciones que
According
emitía
to
en un programa
declarations
radial el
made in a
senador
radio
William
program
Joseph,
by Senator William
aliado o
Joseph,
afecto al gobierno de
allied
Moise.
to
Actualidad
the
RT
government of Moise.
publica: manifestantes
RT
haitianos
publishes
queman
that
una bandera de Estados
Haitian
Unidos y piden
demonstrators
ayuda
burn the U.S.
a Rusia,
flag
China
and
y
ask for
Venezuela.
assistance to
En una
Russia,
congregación de unas
China,
200
and
personas,
Venezuela.
un
A
joven
demonstration of
fotógrafo
around
de
200
Nouvelle
people,
Gentil Junior Agustín,
a young
quemó el
man
estandarte de
burnt
Estados Unidos.
the U.S.
Uno de los
flag.
voceros,
One of the
identificado por
spokesmen,
la agencia
identified
AFP
by
como Bronson, dijo:
EFE
queremos
as
decir
Bronson,
que nos divorciamos
said that we want
completamente
to
de los
say that we are
estadounidenses.
fully
Ya hemos tenido
divorcing the
demasiada
United States. We have
ocupación.
had too
No
much
podemos más.
occupation.
Le
We
pedimos a
cannot go
Rusia, a
beyond.
Venezuela, a
We
la Gran
ask
China
Russia,
que
Venezuela,
echen
and the
un
great
vistazo a
China
la
to
miseria
come
que
and look at
vivimos
the
aquí.
misery we are
Ante la
living
acción,
in.
el primer ministro Jean
In
Henderson
view of this,
cuestionó,
First Minister
condenamos
Jean
el acto
Henderson
deshonesto de un ciudadano
condemned,
que ha dejado la bandera
saying
de un
that
país
it's a
amigo.
dishonest act, burning
Bueno,
a
me
flag
voy
of a
ahora a
friend
nuestra
country.
recomendación, está en
I will now
Alaineta,
go to our
América Latina en Movimiento, su
commendation
título es
in
Haití, preocupa, tranquilo, te endeudo, te mato, de la autoría de Mariano Vázquez,
written by
articulista,
Mariano
periodista
Vázquez, a
internacionalista
journalist and
de
internationalist
este medio.
of
18 de
American
julio de 2018 es la
Movimiento.
fecha
July
de este
18th,
análisis. El brote de
2018,
cólera que mató a tantos haitianos fue
the
producto de la
cholera that
negligencia
killed
de
so many
Naciones Unidas
Haitians
o
was the
su actor
result of
involucrado.
the
Según un cable en diciembre
neglect
o
of United
de hecho
Nations, another
público en
actor
diciembre de
involved.
2010 de la agencia de
This was made
noticias
public
AFP,
in
el
December
renombrado
2010,
epidemiólogo
and
francés Renaud
famous
Pierroux dirigió el mes
epidemiologist
pasado una
René
investigación en Haití y llegó a la
Rahoux
conclusión de que la
carried
epidemia
out a
fue generada
research
por
in
una cepa
Haiti and
importada
concluded
y
that
se
that was
extendió
created by the
desde la base
imported
nepalí de la MINUSTAH, esa misión de Naciones Unidas para Haití.
and
La ONU lo negó.
the United Nations denied this.
Dice o sigue el autor en otro
The author
párrafo:
continues
un país
in another
apaleado como
paragraph.
perros sin Dios,
A
tragedias
country
naturales y
that has
políticas
been
mixturadas para dinamitar
with
cualquier endija de
ready
salida,
to
terremotos y
dynamite any
dictaduras,
window,
corrupción y
earthquakes,
huracanes, ocupaciones y
dictatorships,
epidemias. Así
epidemics,
resume
and
su visión
occupation.
Mariano
This
Vázquez.
is how Mariano Vázquez
Vamos una
summarizes
vez, les
his
decía que
vision.
nuestra casa está en el lugar haciendo cobertura. Pablo Pérez García es nuestro enviado especial a la isla desde
Telesur
Puerto
has
Príncipe,
sent a
capital.
correspondent,
Nos suma
Pablo Pérez,
datos
to
para
the
la jugada
island.
crítica a esta hora. Pablo.
Muy buenos días nuevamente desde
Good morning,
Puerto
once
Príncipe,
again from
Haití, en donde continúan
Haiti.
estas negociaciones
These
por parte de diversos
negotiations,
sectores
by
de la
different sectors
oposición
of the
que
opposition
están pues
continue.
tratando de
They are
llegar
trying
a
to
un acuerdo para
reach an
cómo presentar el
agreement
frente hacia el
to
gobierno del presidente
present
Jovenel
the
Moise
front
después de las
to the
protestas
President
populares
Moise
que se
after
vivieron en
popular
semanas
demonstrations
pasadas,
that were
en donde
lived
pues el
last
pueblo
week,
particularmente
where,
pedía la
the
dimisión
people
de Moise
especially
por
asked
cargos
the,
por acusaciones de corrupción, desvío de
resignation
fondos
because
e injerencia
of,
extranjera, y
corruption,
el
foreign
misterioso
interference,
caso
and
de
the mysterious
los
case
mercenarios
of the mercenaries
norteamericanos que
from the
fueron
United
repatriados
States
sin
that
ningún otro
were
tipo de investigación,
repatriated
a pesar
without
de que,
any
bueno, varias
investigation,
acusaciones de
although
sectores de izquierda
several
acerca de pues
accusations
que
were
estarían
filed
en
by the
Haití
left
buscando
groups.
pues atacar blancos estratégicos,
It's
personas
not that they
estratégicas
are
de la oposición. Bueno, pues
to attack
se acerca
specific
el
persons in
viernes,
the
que es el
opposition.
día para el
Well,
cual
Friday is
nuevamente se
about
tienen
to
preparadas
be here, for which
movilizaciones
they have,
populares y sociales
popular
hacia el
social
Palacio de Gobierno aquí en Puerto
demonstrations,
Príncipe. Y hay
to
esta
the,
expectativa
government palace.
sobre si estas movilizaciones
There's an
llegarán a tener la
expectation
magnitud
that
que
if
vimos
these groups would
durante
have
los 11
the
días pasados de protestas,
relevance,
creando lo que
they
aquí en
had
Haití
in
se
the
llama un
past
pays
11
bloc,
days
un país
of,
bloqueado que ha causado pues
protest
duros
will
estragos,
cause a block
no solamente
country,
digo a la vida política,
which
sino también a la social,
has,
ya que hay una
not
gran
only
cantidad de haitianos que viven al día y los bloqueos les causan
tells about
particulares
the
problemas para
tens of
conseguir
Haitians that do not
alimentos
have
y
food and the
también, bueno,
problems
pues
they have
para mandar a sus
in
hijos
finding
a
them
la
and to
escuela.
send their
Por
children to
mientras, bueno,
school.
pues se está
Meanwhile,
haciendo una
they
serie de
are
presentaciones
making a series
tratando
of
de encontrar un frente
presentations trying
común de los
to
partidos de izquierda hacia el
unite the
gobierno
common
de
front
Jovenel
of
Moise
left
para
parties
presionarlo, ya que
to
muchos de
press
ellos mencionan que
President
la única
Moise,
alternativa
because many of
de
them say
lograr un
that the
avance
only
es
space
logrando
of
que
managing
Moise
an
dimita
advancement
y deje el cargo.
is that Moise
Gracias, Pablo.
resign.
Bueno, con los datos informativos
Well,
que
with
nos
these
acaba de brindar
data
nuestro
provided by
corresponsal,
our
como ha hecho desde
correspondent,
que llegó a la isla caribeña, consultemos a nuestros
we
invitados
will now
o
consult
analicemos
our
cómo llegó
guests
Haití
and
a la actual
analyze
situación de
how Haiti
inestabilidad, considerando
reached this
antecedentes
current
que ya incluimos
unstable
en este
situation.
primer segmento. ¿A dónde conducirá el malestar?
Where
Pausa y venimos con
does,
más de nuestra jugada crítica. Su jugada.
will MLS take Haiti?
Haití, la perla que Estados
Haiti, the
Unidos se niega
pearl
a
that
soltar,
the
esa
United
es nuestra
States
jugada crítica
refuses
de hoy.
to let go is our
Avanzamos con
critical
una
move
descripción
today.
de los últimos
We will
hechos
now
en el
go to a
país
description of the
históricamente
last facts
rebelde y
in a
maltratado.
historically
Venimos de procesos
mistreated
electorales
country,
en 2015 y
where
2016,
elections have
profundamente
taken place in
cuestionados.
2015,
El
2016, and
retorno de
have
las
been highly
tradicionales
questioned.
recetas del FMI
The return
se
of the
tradujo en
IMF
los últimos
recipes
meses
was
en la
translated in
declaratoria
the
de
last
emergencia
months
económica
in
que
the
incluyó
Economic
aumento en los
Emergency
precios de
Declaration
combustibles
that
y
increased the
productos más
prices of
básicos.
fuels
Ello
and
devino a una espiral de
food.
protestas, de
This
violencia,
resulted in
enfrentamientos que
violence
terminó con la dimisión
demonstrations
del primer ministro
that
de
ended
Pontul,
with
Pontul.
the
Y ahora
resignation of
esto.
First Minister Pontul. And now this.
Haití atraviesa una difícil
Haiti is
situación
undergoing
en lo
difficult
económico, según
situation
datos
in the
publicados en una
economic
nota de la
arena.
corresponsalía de la
According
agencia
to
informativa
data
Prensa Latina
of
en el país
Prensa
caribeño,
Latina,
tiene un déficit
its
presupuestario de más de
budget
86
deficit
millones
is
de
more
dólares,
than
una
$86
inflación de
million,
más de 15%,
inflation
una moneda
above
nacional profundamente
15%,
debilitada
and
frente
a
al dólar
weakened
estadounidense.
currency
Ha perdido
versus
su
the
valor
dollar.
en más
It
del
has lost
68%
its value in more
en
than
los últimos
68% in the
años.
last 3
Además,
years.
esta informalidad, este
Besides,
trabajo
the
precario e
informality,
inestable,
precarious, and
el sustento de más del
unstable
70% de la
labor
población, el nivel social,
takes
la
over more
pobreza
than
extrema
70%
alcanza
of
una
the
cuarta parte de los
population.
habitantes, y más
and more than 80% live with less than $2 a day. The last 4 months have seen repeated demonstrations with several cross interests that would lead to more instability and confrontation to the office, pillaging to stores. On February 7th, particularly, with 11 continuous day, new demonstrations took place in the capital and other cities, especially in Port-au-Prince. Basic utilities like water, electricity, and health, and even the informal market that sustains the economy. The last street protests included, they asked President to resign and to set temporary government, and also to investigate the money given by Petrocaribe in solidarity to the people after the earthquake. The government was trying to calm down the forces. They wanted to audit companies and increase the minimum wage. At the beginning of this week, they started very many reasons with several sectors. They believe he is responsible for the people's vulnerability. To complete our data, we take this article published on February 18 in TV Sur. They arrest foreigners with guns. Last Sunday, the National Police of Haiti arrested 5 U.S. citizens, of which 3 former military and 1 federal contractor, Serbian, Russian, and a Haitian, near the Banco de la República. They were accused of illegal possession of weapons, and official forces said that their intention was to rob the bank. Later, First Minister Jovenel Moise declared that the mercenaries were trying to perform an attack against him in Parliament. They were going on 2 unlicensed vehicles with several weapons, protection vests, cell phones, etc. The intention of this has not been revealed to the state. We would like to add the analysis of our guests from Montevideo, Uruguay, Raúl Ferreira, and from Spain, Juan Francisco Martinez, doctor in history and teacher, professor of the University of Buenos Aires in San Martín. Welcome both, and thank you for being here. I would like to start with Juan Raúl. What is your opinion according to the information you receive and from how you followed the facts? We lost contact with Juan Raúl. We will now go to Juan Francisco Martinez. The same question, your opinion on what is happening at this time in Haiti, according to the information you have received. Greetings, Lucia. It's a pleasure to be here. The situation in Haiti is tragic, very complicated, but I think that it's very important to consider, to have a historic view. As many times it is not understood if we only think of it as a juncture or a moment. This is a long history of events, interventions, imperial interventions, neocolonial interventions, and is closely related to the history of rebellion and struggle for independence of Haiti. We must remember that Haiti was the first nation that sought independence in Latin America. And we should say that they're still paying for that because let's remember that France just recognized Haiti's independence in 1825 in exchange for 150 million francs. And besides this, Haiti had a huge external debt. And when we talk about humanitarian aid and the United States is doing what it is doing, threatening Venezuelan sovereignty, the United States occupied Haiti for 19 years, from 1915 to 1934. And Haiti is still occupied by the Blue Helmets, NGOs, and different external agents that put in doubt state sovereignty. So what we are looking at is no other thing than a consequence of a long and complex line of historic facts, both domination and revelry, because since July last year, the people have gone to the streets and struggled against this government that is scarcely legitimate. Let's remember that he won with a very low percentage and an abstainment of 18%, or just a participation of 18% of votes. And then he imposed an IMF adjustment program, and this has increased demonstration and struggles, as well as the pillaging of Petrocaribe. I think the situation is very complicated. Juan Francisco, before we go back to Juan Raúl, I would like to ask regarding what you were talking about, Petrocaribe. At the end of 2018, a report was published by the National Accounts Council that more than $4 million destined to social areas were pillaged by 15 officials. This is one of the disturbances that caused the late demonstration. I ask you, is this being used wrong to attack the solidarity mechanism like Petrocaribe that has showed the United States, and this is why it pretends to penetrate? We must also remember a visit that Rex Tillerson made to the region with the a goal of taking over Petrocaribe. I think we must continue looking at it with a historic view, because it was the first independence of Latin America, and it was very important for the Hispanic American independence. Petion supported Simón Bolívar and other leaders of the revolution with weapons, money, and troops. And historically, there has been solidarity with Latin America and Haiti, and Hugo Chavez, based on Petrocaribe, helped other countries in the region as well by providing oil and other elements. And I will say that this company has created a great crisis in Haiti, and I think that this shows that it could be used, but I think that the Haitian people are solidary. When Chavez was very popular in Venezuela, the people supported him, and this is why such a scandal has been made. We can see many of the mobilizations in Haiti are having Venezuela in mind, and this has also happened with OAS voting, because finally the Haitian government supported the U.S. policy against the government of Nicolás Maduro in this geopolitical key. So finally, this context should be viewed in another way, but the people has clear what Petrocaribe meant for the people, its assistance, his aids for Haiti and the government, and there's a very strange sadness, because what the IMF has done is caused a huge crisis. I think it would be good to differentiate the IMF and mass moves. Reviewing political historic. We now have Juan Raúl. Haiti is located on Isla Española, that since colonial times was the most important in terms of business. That's why half have been taken over the French. This is good. They are trying that movement where they turn them into slaves to work in mines and guarantees income for the old continent. And then came the U.S. invasion. I would like to ask you other political moves that are taking place at present, and also What information do you have? In the first place, the first reading I think we must do is that when the government of the United States talks about his concession, because in some parties, especially Venezuela, writes to a humanitarian crisis and shows that there is no humanitarian interest whatsoever behind these demonstrations, because Haiti has not corrected the consequences of the 2010 earthquake. We're talking about 17 years. I want to talk frankly. For me, it's very hard to talk directly as a journalist because I was head of the mission that observed the last elections where he was elected president. And somehow we are living a chronic of an announced murder. In my formal report, I pointed out that if the formal, legal, and juridical point of view, 1 year behind it wasn't so. In 2015, President Jovenel was elected, but elections were annulled by fraud. 1 year later, elections conclude without violence and with a recognition of its results, but with children dying in electoral schools. This is not peace, it's simply absence of violence. And since then, absolutely nothing has been done, not by the Haitian government, nor by the international community, in politics that avoid this humanitarian drama that our brother countries living. Juan Raúl, you didn't tell us what information arrives to you. Do you think that this is few what is happening and they're reporting a few? No, they pay no attention. Let's set a paradigmatic example with CNN. CNN has not informed of the crisis they are undergoing. The news of the 5 mercenaries expelled from Haiti has not been broadcasted by CNN. But besides, I would also like to say publicly that when I was the head of the international mission to control the elections, I made a report where I warned this could happen. And Mr. Almagro, my compatriot, General Secretary of OAS, cut my final report, the part that corresponded to OAS, and only made a formal analysis. And I don't believe in casualties. Haiti's crisis is being concealed because the United States is interested to interfere in our continent, and its geopolitical priorities are others. I say it with all the words. The Haitian drama is being used to express and it's unfortunate, but it's so. They haven't talked about the 5 mercenaries. They didn't investigate them before expelling them from the country. So it was only returned to those who had sent them. But besides, I didn't hear this from another people. I saw it with my eyes. The Haitian people is a very warm, healthy, working people. But the huts are still built above the first earthquake. I was there after Hurricane Matthew, and I saw the tragedy. Some time ago, through after social networks, they told me the amount of billions that was submitted. What I can wonder is if that assistance arrived to the people, so the democratic sensitivity of this man is one more deceit that the U.S. Trump was planning. Thank you, Juan Raúl. The arrest of 8 individuals strongly armed in the center of the capital has also created surprise since it has not been published in the media. I want to go back to San Juan Francisco. They said that they were planning to rob the Bank of the Republica and they were paid to attack the First Minister. Jan Henry said this, or, por favor, they were asking in the opinion on violence. On the other hand, the State Department of the United States recommends its citizens to postpone any flight towards Haiti, and the embassy in Port-au-Prince has withdrawn all its non-essential personnel. I would now like to listen to Juan Francisco's opinion on all these information. Well, something that I think is very important is the scarce information about Haiti, the historic recognition that is usually made, and the completely negative view that the media issue, and the double standards as well, because they don't discuss the democratic nature of this illegitimate government. After elections that contain fraud, I think that the great media speak very scarcely about this, and the situation becomes complex. The mercenaries that have appeared and mobilizations that are expected for tomorrow. The conflict in Haiti will continue. It has deep roots. The intervention of the United States is very important. It has an important role since the end of the 19th century and throughout the 20th century. It was an occupation that lasted 19 years and understood Haiti and the Caribbean region as a strategic place. And I would like to compare this with OAS. Haiti also played an important role against the government or in favor of the Cuban Revolution. Let's remember that the United States supported Papa Doc Duvalier, a dictator since 1957 to 1981, and then his son until 86. And he was overthrown on February 6th, and this is why demonstrations have taken place, because it took place, they have taken place during the fall, celebrating the fall of baby Doc Duvalier. So the United States reading this government as a democratic government is completely wrong. I think there will continue being intense mobilizations. To conclude, Juan Francisco, I would like to ask, our question, is Haiti the pearl that the United States refuses to let go? I think that not only Haiti, because the Caribbean region is very important. You are from Venezuela. You notice that, but people from other regions, including Latin America, many times forget the importance of the Caribbean region in global history. As you mentioned before, Haiti was a very important place since the beginning of the conquest for America. The rest of the Caribbean was a place of production of raw materials, especially sugar. It was very important in the 18th century, and the Caribbean pearl was the first producer of sugar in the world, and it was the most important colony for France in the 18th century. This is why when the United States started its imperial expansion after the West and half of Mexico, expanded towards the Caribbean region, understanding it as its Mare Nostrum. They occupied Cuba, Puerto Rico, and started looking for other places like Dominican Republic and Haiti. So in order to understand the regional geopolitics, because sometimes they say Haiti has no wealth, because it is partially false, because it did have wealth. And all the humanitarian aid right now is very important. And the United States know that this region has many things at stake. This is why they place Guantanamo, all the military bases, and they won't let go easy. Thank you very much, Juan Francisco, and Juan Raúl, who I understand has lost communication for us, but we take important data. Let's continue deepening why Haiti is so important geopolitically, more so in a context like today, where Cuba and Venezuela are still in the sight of the United States. We will continue providing information. Our next guest will be presented after this pause. Haiti, the pearl of the Caribbean that the United States refuses to let go. This is our critical move today. Since Europeans touched the land of what they call the New World, the Caribbean became a fundamental piece for pillaging. It was the first point of contact with this unknown universe for them. The Caribbean has not been and is not presentable. The curtain that the Caribbean are to the continental land grants it once again strategic significance. We will provide other data and continue analyzing with our guests. Haiti is located in Hispaniola, first colonized territory on this side of the Atlantic. Columbus described this as an exuberant island where life was free. It was one of the most important strategic islands because of the archipelago. It was one of the attractions of the large companies formed by monopolies sponsored by the state, but with private capitals as its agents. The United States soon placed its view on this neighbor country, and it was potentially a shield that could save America for the Americans. The Caribbean was the first scenario where U.S. imperialism enjoyed as a close side to the Panama Canal. Its first position was Cuba, like Venezuela. According to several analysts, Haiti has important oil reserve that has still not been reserved. Canadian oil companies has been exploring since 2018. They communicated the U.S. Energy Office in the United States that they are planning to build deep-water ports. The position of Haiti is also relevant. Imperialism is under assault. They have recognized Maduro as the legitimate president of Venezuela and has approached its people. Hours after they learned their position, thousands of Haitians went to the streets to reject the government's position, stating that Venezuela was one of the countries that helped Haiti most. We now have a Haitian politologist, and he is a professor in the Superior Academy of War. Thank you for being here. According to the data we were offering and that you were accepting, I would like to ask if it is necessary to break this friendship that after the Bolivarian Revolution, Venezuela has made with Haiti. This is to have a geopolitical view. First, I would like to send a message to the popular democratic sector of Haiti that are carrying out a very important struggle. My call is to keep completely united because they are vindicating social justice, independence of the Haitian people. I am addressing a leader like Moise Majorie Michel, Senator Blanc, to keep united because the road towards independence is united. We cannot divide ourselves. We can work with the people and strengthen the idea of refounding the state. I, from Venezuela, from the Haitian diaspora, not only trust our leader, but the work they are carrying out. Regarding your question, this is, there's no doubt. The current government is a puppet government that responds to the interests of Washington. It was them who imposed this president. We must remember that President Jovenel Moise arrived to power with 500,000 votes among 6 million votes. 6.5 million, and this is legitimate. Today, 95% of the population is asking for Moise's resignation, since it represents a system that is economically asphyxiating the Haitian people and responds to the interests of Washington. You say that you trust dialogue for peace. In the beginning of this program, we said that not all sectors are accepting this. Why? Because the democratic sector, we cannot accept this call. First, it's an illegitimate government. Second, today the president is involved in corruption acts with the Petrocaribe Fund. There's a last report that clearly shows the president's participation in the pillaging of that fund. How can a democratic sector talk with an illegitimate and corrupt government? It's not the first time. There's an institution called ICLEF that 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, found assets of President Moise. So he continues to be a president because an organization, Congru, incorporated by the United States, France, European Union, keeps him there. But the people, the Haitian people, is protecting him. What do you call the democratic sector? Left forces? It's a democratic force composed by leftist leaders that have represented the Haitian people in its vindications. But, for example, the vote of Haiti in OAS was an agreement between Moise and Trump that said that Haiti should vote against Venezuela and we would keep you in power. It's the only thing that President Moise keeps him in power, the vote against Venezuela. But the people of Haiti is with the people of Venezuela. And you can see this in all the demonstrations for support and solidarity. On the 23rd of this month, there will be a demonstration in the country to support the people and government of Venezuela. So we have this view in the world, but the world is rising, not only Haitians. Recently, hours ago, I came from a demonstration, a solidarity demonstration in favor of the yellow vests in France, because the people's vindications are the same everywhere. We are struggling for a better future, and my call to the European communities to stop with this colonial monarchic perception. We are no longer a colony. That they should change this. I would like to ask you, almost 1,200 kilometers of coast, marine coast are without control in Haiti. We found this data, and I would like to ask you, the ports are managed by an elite that make their own business. 8% of the cocaine that enters the United States crosses Haiti. Yes, it's terrible. The First Minister said it. The country loses annually 60 billion gudes because of smuggling. And who is behind the smuggling? The elite. They have franchises and they import thousands of products without paying taxes. And there is a puppet government that protects them. And I would like to take advantage of Telesur's cameras to report something. 3 days ago, the Haitian police, whom I greet from here, they captured international mercenaries with war weapons, long and short weapons. According to the press, their mission was to kill more people among the population that is fairly protesting. They captured. The plan was to infiltrate in the demonstration and kill people. According to the information we have on the press, President Moise called the police director to let those mercenaries go. And thanks to the accusation of the Popular Democratic sector, this came out to the light yesterday. The government of Maurice freed these mercenaries, 5 of which come from the United States, 3 former military. So we must report this. Latin America must see what is happening in Haiti. It is not fair. And there's another thing they're saying, that Haiti is the poorest country. No, it's not. It's a more impoverished country because no economy sustains 3 colonization, 33 coups, 3 invasions in less than a century. They impoverished the country. My people is now standing for that. We want from the Haitian diaspora, students, workers in different parts of the world, want to participate in the political life. They want to end the U.S. intervention. We are asking and crying for that. The time of rest is concluded. Now is the time to struggle, to renew, to clean the faces of the pearl. Is the Haitian people aware of its geostrategic location together with Dominican Republic, which is the entrance to the Americas? A key point, something that the Haitian people has is its history, his geopolitical, strategic position. The Haitian people knows that, and this is why we've always been the first in all struggles. Haiti is the first country in placing a woman as president. We just take one step ahead, and this is why we have maintained this political dispute. Today, thank God, thanks to a democratic sector of different colors and political parties is there. What is necessary is to remain united, because if there is something that the empire knows how to do is divide to reign. I will soon be in the streets of Port-au-Prince in Haiti, struggling with this impoverished, attacked humiliated people. The United Nations asked for a dialogue. We were reviewing United Nations actions is deplorable. Once again, I reject this international community because in Haiti, 95% of the situation of the population is asking the resignation of the president. And the president almost does not speak. Nobody knows him. And the people doesn't want any dialogue. In Venezuela, it's different. The people want peace. They want dialogue between the government and the opposition. So it is united with some puppets in the zone seeking for ways to spill blood on the land of Bolívar. This will not happen. We, 200 years ago in the continent, took the road of independence, social justice. And if you go back to countries, small countries like Haiti, who has not taken for granted this manufactured misery, we will have peace. Thank you very much for being with us. We will now go to our conclusions. It makes part of a region that includes the outlet of the Panama Canal, the northern part of South America, and the southern part of the United States, that is next to the winds of Cuba. Haiti is the first country that became free in the Americas and has a history with dimensions of tragedy, as writer Eduardo Galeano said in 1996. France did not pardon them to waving their banners and looking for independence. The United States continues pillaging and treating its population as criminals and primitives. It will be hard to see what important changes will be unchanged. The importance for the United States to keep control of these islands a few kilometers from its illegally established Guantanamo, and a historic friendship with Venezuela that has broad experience in intervention of the United Nations and humanitarian aid as a political maneuver for interference. This is the end of our critical move. We will continue watching to what is happening in Haiti